Hey guys, so hopefully the microphone is working. I'm on the Samsung, which the microphone, in my opinion, really sucks. We have breaking news right now in the Riley Strain case. This is something coming out of NewsNation. NewsNation just did a story here about a text message Riley had sent, Riley Strain. This is about the Missouri student that went to Nashville. He was inebriated. We've seen some videos and photos about him online for, just over the last couple weeks now. And now we're learning some breaking news. Breaking news right now in the Riley Strain case. Hey guys, it's nice to see you guys coming in. We are learning that there was a weird and unusual text message sent to a girl that he recently started seeing the night that he disappeared. That is correct. We are learning this from NewsNation right now. This just broke just a few moments ago from NewsNation that there were some text messages. Riley Strain, 22, went missing March 8 in Nashville. New video excuse me. New video shows Strain interaction with an officer that night. We also posted that here on this show. We went live here and I did a video on that. So if you guys have not seen the video of him and his interaction with that law enforcement officer, you can go here on TikTok to my channel and review that particular footage. We also have footage, I don't think I posted it on here, but definitely on my YouTube channel about the homeless person that saw Riley interacting with another person, not the officer, another person. However, right now they're saying that there is a, so I want you guys to hear this, if I can get the volume to come on. It's not working. I don't know why. I can't get anything to work on this thing. It's not working. Hold on a second, guys. And I don't have YouTube bolsters, so you're just going to have to wait just a second and listen to me. So I don't know why the volume's not working on here. It's not wanting to do the volume. Here we go. Okay, I got it.
They now have a digital trail pit from when he was walking, along with a video footprint.
Oh, sorry.
To put things together, to look for people following, extra vehicles in the same frame, etc. But right now, that is the last video or voice that we have of Riley.
Nashville police today, Chris, again said no indication of foul play. And that's the way, it seems they're being careful the way they word it, but they say no indication of foul play. What do you make of this? I mean, what are your thoughts at this point?
It's, I don't play poker well. It's very frustrating. His debit card was found in an area that we have been, everybody, hundreds of people have been in that area for 8 days. It's in an area that, you think we would have seen something by now. We've had people in the water. We've had people on land. We've had people volunteer helicopters. It just amazes us that it just happened to happen when it did, and we thank God it did.
Okay, and then give me just a second. I'm going to continue reading that, and then we'll come back to that in just a second. So this has been breaking on X. There is some additional information about Riley Strain for those that are just coming in. There was a message sent to a girlfriend that he was seeing. It says, missing student Riley Strain's last communication was an unclear text message he sent to a new girl he was seeing. She texted him to see how he was doing and if he was having fun. He sent kind of a scripted text back saying, good lops, Chris Dingman said during a Monday interview on news. Elizabeth Vargas Reports. Dingman describes the message as unclear slang. The girl had difficulty understanding its meaning and had to resort to searching online for clarification. Dingman said that it reflects Strain's mental state at the time. The University of Missouri College senior vanished on March 8th after reportedly being removed from a downtown bar. Authorities have been scrambling to retrace his steps in a bid to unveil the circumstances of his disappearance. It is bothering me just ever so slightly to think that they are not looking at this as any type of foul play when he disappeared. We've been talking about this all day long. We've had this map up literally all day long on our lives because this is his path of travel. And up here is where he saw an officer. And then even 4 or 6 minutes after he saw an officer was the last time his phone pinged. And now we're hearing that there is a text message sent to a new girl that he's seeing that is that was unclear to her. So he was making communications. He had his phone with him, and he got separated from his group. He didn't call anybody for help, it doesn't sound like. And they're not telling us when this text message actually went to the new girl. Was it earlier in that night? Was it after he saw law enforcement? They're not really giving us a timeline other than he did text message this new girl in his life after she was checking on him. Sometimes they walk away, but yeah, DC, sometimes they walk away, but usually there's circumstances around why they walk away. It's not like, it seemed like he was having fun with his friends. It sounds like, hold on a second, let me see what this does. Okay, to close. Okay. It sounds like he was having fun with his friends. It sounds like he's good at school, So sometimes they do just walk away, but they usually don't walk away when life is great, And it sounds like he was having a lot of fun that night up until this. I was watching Nick Bears, and he was saying something like, he thought that they may have drank at the hotel, which they may have. But we also heard rumors that they were at a few other bars besides this particular bar that night. So I can't imagine them getting, well, it depends. He is right that they are frat boys. They would be most likely drinking at the hotel before they ever went out that night. So, there's a lot of people have been talking about him being oofied and somebody slipping something. I don't think that's the case. I think there's enough evidence to indicate he willingly put himself in that condition. Now, I don't think he was willingly in all that condition. I think when he fell right about here. And if you see that video of him fall, he fell really, really hard, guys. I mean, I couldn't tell whether his head hit the cement base of the light pole or if his head hit the cement on the sidewalk. But it surely looked like his head hit some type of pavement when he fell. And, he could have injured himself a lot more than he thought he did. And it's possible because the railing around here is not that, and some of that stuff goes straight down. I mean, it's a steep embankment. And right along this edge here, the railing's not really that high. I mean, it's maybe knee high, depending on how tall you are. It might be ankle high for some of you tallies. And this guy stood out like a sore thumb, y'all. He was almost, what was he, like 6'5", 6'7"? I mean, you're talking about a tall, thin, lanky guy that would have been noticeable literally anywhere just from his height. And so now we've got, let's just kind of recap this for everybody to know. So actually, I got it right here. We can just follow the line. So Luke Bryan's 32 bar, he got kicked out and started leaving like around 9:40. And then he was seen on camera here around 9:43. Now up here around 9:45 is the video footage that we have of him like literally face piling into the cement. And we have video of him crossing the road and rounding here. And this is kind of, these dots here is like the last video of Riley was right here, and his last ping was right here. I'm not sure about these. I mean, this I got from a news person, so I'm pretty sure they're about as accurate as possible. But I heard that he had was seen on camera around here and didn't quite make it to the last camera, unless they're saying he made it to this bridge here and they didn't get him on the camera further past. But this seems like the area of issue here. This is kind of where he disappeared from, and it was right around here that he saw law enforcement right before he did disappear. There are reports that there's a homeless guy with his shirt. I don't know how the reports how accurate those reports are. I did hear the statement from the person that made it. I can tell you she sounded credible. She was at a shelter, and she saw somebody with his what appeared to be a shirt with some vomit on it, but there's nobody to corroborate whether he took a shirt. People are assuming he must have taken his shirt off and threw up on it, but there's nothing corroborating that that happened or that that man was wearing his shirt. We know that there is, I think they said that it's right here is where they found the credit card, the bank card of Riley Strant. So a lot of stuff is just right here in this area. And so this is where I'm starting to have a major problem with them saying that there's no foul play, because this was such a consolidated area and such a time frame. Where could he have gone? If he went in the water, or he fell, or he is in the bushes because he hit his head and he's no longer whatever. Why aren't they finding him? I mean, you're talking about days and days of massive searches in this area, and they can't find him. They're assuming he's in this water, but I talked to Chronicles of Olivia, and she said this is not like a gushing, like a dam, or, this is just a lazy river. So it's not like this is the Grand Rapids where it's pushing them from one end to the other. So I'm really, really confused about how they can say this is not foul play, and they believe he accidentally did something to himself. But all of these weird things are happening here. And what about this shirt? Did he take his shirt off? Somebody says there's a video out there where he had a shirt, the black and white shirt, and then another video shows him with just a white shirt on, and not the black and tan, cream color shirt he was wearing. A lot of people think that shirt's black and white. It's not. It's black and cream. So I'm just really curious about that, because the only way I can express that he's not in this area is if somebody took him out of this area. He's not on any further cameras after this. So have they checked all the vehicles that were in this area that passed the camera? Have they reached out to the people? Because, we need to find out where he's at, and it doesn't sound like he's here when he should be here. And it doesn't sound like he is. He was wearing the shirt when the officers saw him in the body cam footage. I slowed it down in the video that I posted on here. I slowed it down really slow so you can see it's definitely him. It's definitely that shirt. So I don't know what they're talking about with him being in just a white shirt. I'll go back to the videos and I'll look again and see if I can see any changes of clothes or anything like that with him. But, I don't know if this shirt is on a homeless man or not. But we do know without a doubt that his bank card was found right here by the water. So how did it get there? Some people are assuming that whoever took the shirt, he must have had his bank card in and they just threw it out. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that would be a normal behavior for someone. I don't think it's a normal behavior to pick up somebody's shirt that has vomit on it and put it on. I mean, it's one thing to vomit on yourself. It's another thing to wear somebody else's. I'm sorry. But I'm not, I'm not a homeless person. I don't, maybe they haven't changed their clothes and a little bit of vomit's better than what's on their clothes. I mean, I don't know. The homeless man said he was walking and screaming, "Let's go, Brandon," and someone called him out. M. Scott, that's the first I heard of that. And out of all of the footage we saw ourselves with our own eyes, I'd have to say that whoever said that's probably full of what, because we would have seen him, even if there's no audio, him mumbling. He looked very confused and disoriented. Not somebody that seemed like he was running up and down the road screaming, "Let's go, Brandon." I mean, he just piled his face into cement. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. But he did. I don't see him screaming up and down the street, "Let's go, Brandon." It just doesn't make sense. How did you know he sent a text? How did you know he sent a text? because it was reported on NewsNation. He sent a text that didn't make any sense to a new girlfriend he was seeing. And I read that to you guys on the other phone. Let me read that to you guys again. I'll read you guys the article. I was trying to listen to the thing, but it didn't, the interview, but it didn't seem like the interview was it didn't seem like the interview was about it. It was going over other stuff that we already heard about or already knew. Brian Enton, give me just a second, and I'll pull that back up and I'll read you the article. Yeah, they're saying a family friend says the last person to communicate with Riley Strand was a young lady he was seeing who was checking on him to see if he was having fun in Nashville, and he responded, "Good lops, LOPS," which confused her, all within a 10-minute window of him going missing. All within a 10-minute window of him going missing. So again, they're really honing in on his timeline. They're honing in on his location, and everything we're learning is happening right here, but they can't find him. And I know that they think he went into the water, but again, you got, your biology. I mean, you can't change it. When something first happens to you, you sink. As you break down, you float. It's just kind of how it works with our body. So I don't get it. But again, let's just hear.
Something more than that. That's how polite Riley was. How are you doing, sir? Great. It was very warm, heartfelt for the family to hear his voice.
Let's just hear.
You can hear his voice. Let's watch it again together.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
That's all that was there.
Okay, so it's quick, Chris, but you hear him say, "How you doing, sir?" And he says, "Good. How are you?" And then good. And again, it's quick. It's hard to make up, but it doesn't sound to me like someone who is necessarily drunk. I mean, Riley, what did you take from it, Chris?
I disagree, because I watched the video myself. I blew it up, and he's forward walking. What I mean by forward walking, I don't know if you've ever been unbalanced or intoxicated. It's where you feel like you're falling back, so you put your top body, your torso
The challenge for law
frontwards.
enforcement in finding these two was one thing.
Oops.
The bigger question.
Sorry.
Now by Chris Dingman.
So he was forward walking. That's all I was going to say.
He's helping in the hunt for Riley. First of all, Chris, I'm so sorry for everything that you're going through.
Speed this up.
But you hear him say, "How you doing, sir?" I've been seeing that police have shown the family.
The family actually got to meet with the police last night after the debit card was found. They did take us in, showed us some more footage. Unfortunately, that is the last footage we have. Everything else is back towards the bar and the route that Riley took. So they now have a digital trail pit from what he was walking, along with a video footprint to put things together, to look for people following, extra vehicles in the same frame, etc. But right now, that is the last video or voice that we have of Riley.
Nashville police today, Chris, again said no indication of foul play. And that's the way, it seems they're being careful the way they word it, but they say no indication of foul play. What do you make of this? I mean, what are your thoughts at this point?
I don't play poker well. It's very frustrating. His debit card was found in an area that we have been, hundreds of people have been in that area for 8 days. It's in an area that, you think we would have seen something by now. We've had people in the water. We've had people on land. We've had people volunteer helicopters. It just amazes us that it just happened to happen when it did, and we thank God it did, and those young ladies found it. They have been very, very open in helping us with this investigation. But, yeah, we have a lot of questions. Every piece of the puzzle we've been receiving.
I have to say, I think he believes there's foul play. I mean, he's saying the same thing I think many of us are saying. Wait a minute. This kid was sticking out like a sore thumb. You could tell he was clearly intoxicated. Walking by that officer for that brief second, because I watched him walk there, yes, he looked intoxicated to me. It seemed like he mumbled, "Hey, how are you doing?" before the officer ever even engaged him the first time. So I think he kind of put his poker face on, so to speak, like, his stepdad or their spokesperson or whatever. He said he couldn't keep a good poker face. This is frustrating for him because if he was here, right? If he was here, he should be here. I mean, there's been massive searches going on. And the only thing, and even law enforcement, let's face it, guys, law enforcement's been up and down this area here for days. And it takes some TikTokers going in there and willing to go down a steep embankment through rocks and everything. And as they're getting down there, they stumble across his debit card. That could be an indicator of where he went into the water, if he's in the water. But again, they've checked the water. They've checked the land. If he's there, he would be there. He's not there. And they're not willing to entertain foul play. Are they looking at the cars? Are they going through the videos? The father's saying that they're looking at the possibility of somebody following him, but it appeared based upon that officer and that body cam, nobody was following him at the time. But the officer was out there because somebody was breaking in the car, so somebody obviously needed money. Could he have ran into the person that was breaking in the cars that brought law enforcement out there and he saw him as a target? But still, it's foul play. It's foul play. I don't know. But, they're saying it's not. So let's keep going. We've got a few more minutes.
100 more questions. We're no closer to finding Riley. We've asked for the TBI to be involved. I've even reached out to the FBI, Homeland Security. It's nothing. I'm not trying to take a dig at what Metro Nashville's doing. I know they're doing with what they can. They're probably short-staffed, but more eyes, more people invested in this. We're 8-9 days in, and how does a 6'5", 6'6", blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy disappear?
Right?
I mean, he literally disappeared.
Yeah,
No. And there's no DNA in the
scene. I was just going to say, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
It sounds like somebody picked him up. Sorry, I just screwed up my phone.
The bigger question,
which I do all the time.
Why Vicky White would have done this?
Sorry, now we're.
Why would she risk everything in her life?
There we go. I turned it off. So you get the gist of it. I didn't quite get to the text message part of it, but I've already read it a couple times on here. What it said. It said, "Good LOPS." Like it either. I don't know what LOPS, if it has some meaning or if it was a mistype or whatever, but it was to a girlfriend, and that's just breaking. It was just breaking in the last, 20 or 30 minutes. So I decided to run live with it here on TikTok to let you know what was going on in the case, because we've been following it all day, and it's just a peculiar case. It's a bizarre case. This kid, it's like he sticks out like a sore thumb. We're not talking like I'm 5 foot, a little over 5 foot, 5 foot 3/4. Some will call it 5'1". Okay, I'll take 5'1", right? He was 6 foot. He was over 6 foot tall. I mean, you're looking at like basketball player type height. That's bobbling all over the roads of Nashville alone, and completely disoriented and confused. So, with all the information we have, you guess what happened. I to be honest with you, it could go either way. He's either in the water, or it's foul play. I don't believe there's really any other option than that. It's either an accident or foul play. Watch the body cam. You will see another person before the bridge. Interesting. I'll have to go back to my video. I put my video. Thank you, Diane. 6'6", guys. 6'6". This kid was tall. He was tall, and he was very slender. He looked very harmless. It doesn't, not that I'm not saying he can't defend himself, but in all fairness, with the likes of the creeps on the roads this day and age, he's a kitty cat. He's a kitten compared to the animals out there. You know what I'm saying? A kitten. So where is his phone? Good question, Mads. I don't know. I don't know where his phone is. We can't corroborate the shirt. I mean, I did listen to the interview with the lady, but I don't know. I don't know. So both stepdads of missing kids are wearing similar hats with shamrocks on them. Really? I didn't notice that. Oh, listen to this, guys. Did you guys, I don't know how many of you guys like YouTube. You guys know I'm bouncing between YouTube and TikTok. I'm not a YouTuber and I'm not a TikToker. I'm a content creator, but I'm not out in the field. So call me whatever you want to when I'm not out in the field. Just don't call me late for dinner. But Chronicles of Olivia got an interview, guys. I didn't think Sebastian's parents would give any interviews, and I gotta say, I thought she did a good job, but I want you to go over to her YouTube channel and watch the interview. It's very interesting. I think you guys might pick up on some things if you guys go over there and watch. But anyways, that's just on the Sebastian Rogers case. Wendy Williams saying foul play. I agree. I actually was wearing my shirt all day that said Team Foul Play on it. And it's upsetting to me, and I'm sure the family is upset when you're hearing law enforcement not even entertaining the possibility of foul play. That, to me, is frustrating. So, Riley family, if you guys feel like it's foul play and you need some reinforcements and you need somebody to come into town with a bullhorn and get some attention to your son so they know to start looking at it as a possibility of foul play, let me know anytime, any place. I'll be out there. I'm happy to assist in any way I can, but I really feel bad for this family that nobody's really even looking at it as as foul play. I feel like it could be foul play. What made me so concerned that it could be foul play is the fact that the homeless guy, right? Oh, thank you. It was the homeless guy that they had the focus of the shoes, and he was saying that he heard a commotion and he looked back and Riley was in the bushes and the guy's like, he's just drunk, he's okay. That would have been after the law enforcement officer interaction. And that's the concerning part to me, because it was shortly after that he physically disappeared. So there was somebody that was in and around him at the time he disappeared. And that's why I feel like there's a possibility of foul play when it comes to this case, because that there was a person that homeless gentleman said he saw him talking to. Who was that guy? My heart hurts for him and his family. I know, Caroline. Mine does too. I can't imagine, because he was so happy. I feel bad for, who I feel bad for? I know there's a lot of people upset with his friends. His friends made a stupid mistake. Can you imagine the scars that they're going to have to bear the rest of their life just from a night out, just to have a good night, and it turned out like this? And it's preventable in a sense, but these are young guys, and I hope the social media world doesn't come down too hard on them. I know for a fact it didn't sound like they ever wanted anything to happen to their friend. It was just, kids being kids and being stupid and being intoxicated, and it led to a lot more than they expected. This does happen, and we try to warn children about it all the time, or young adults, I should say, right? I should say. But at the end of the day, I hope, you guys are a little easy on them, because I can't imagine the scars they're going to have to bear the rest of their life over this. And they're pretty young guys, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to have to feel responsible for a really, really long time. And in all fairness, it was a whole combination of events. It wasn't one specific thing. It wasn't one specific person's fault. It was a whole slew of bad decisions that led to this. And Oh well, I'm not going to parent and I'm not going to mother. But I just hope people are a little bit kinder. You know, we all make mistakes, and we just all pray to God our mistakes don't kill somebody, right? So, I mean, we can drive a car and make one mistake running a red light and, you know, and hurt somebody really bad. Angelica, yeah, I kind of do at this point, to be honest with you. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but to be honest with you, it's been over 10 days. Nobody's heard from him. It's hard to believe, especially with what law enforcement is giving us. If those are really all of the facts and there is truly no foul play, then there's no other option. I mean, there's no other reason why he wouldn't be able to reach out in the amount of days that it's been. If he was really hurt, I don't see him being able. You know, he can't, obviously, if he's really hurt, he can't get water, he can't get food. You know, it's been a couple weeks. You know, bodies need certain necessities, just bare necessities to survive. And from what I see, he hasn't even had the bare necessities to survive. So, who knows? But honestly, I think this is going to end really bad because of the information that we have. It doesn't appear that it's going to end well. So it really is unfortunate. And if you guys do, you know, I know to each of their own, but for those that do pray or have a higher power or have a spiritual being or whatever you guys do, you know, if that's who you are, maybe center yourself or whatnot. And this family can use all the good stuff that it can possibly be. Look, guys, I will tell you, just because I believe he's gone does not mean he's gone. Look at Charlotte Senna. Do you guys remember Charlotte Senna? She was the little 9-year-old girl that was abducted from a state park in New York. And she was, you know, the statistics for children that are abducted are terrible. Statistics basically tell us that in 3 hours, the abducted child is usually deceased. And this was like a day or two or several days later. She was still alive. She defied statistics. Like everybody, all law enforcement, everybody thought she was a goner. And when they found her, it was, I know she was injured pretty badly, you know, scarred mentally as well as other ways, but she was alive, and with that she can overcome. You know, it's not a fix-all, but she's alive and she has an opportunity to live. And that's a lot of opportunities that other young girls, 9 years old she was, other young girls in the same exact situation didn't get the opportunity to have, you know. So she is fortunate. So I just want to put that out there because, you know, just because I feel that he's gone doesn't make him, oh, thank you. Just because I say that doesn't make, I mean, there are miracles that happen all the time. And, you know, this can be a miracle. He can be another Charlotte Senna, you know, and I love hearing those miracles. There's nothing more than me, when I make a statement like that, than me being proven wrong. Because you know what? At the end of the day, that's something I would love to be wrong about, right? I don't want to be right about these things, nor does anybody else. But just based on the facts, and because one of my audience members asked me, I'm not going to deceive my audience, and they asked me, do me, believe he's gone? And based upon the information, yes. And I believe his family feels that way too. I'm not going to speak on their behalf, but I do feel that his family feels that way too, because you can see it in them. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in the way that they talk. You can see that they're broken. And that's the sad part about it, is everybody's broken. There's no good answers. It's just find him. It's find him. But you know what? With that being said, and the fact he hasn't been found, you know, there's a lot of sick and twisted shit going on in this country with people, and people hunting people. Usually it's for women and children, but you know what? People are sick. I mean, look at that guy out in Ohio that kidnapped those 3 girls, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some twisted shit out here. There's some really fucked up people. Excuse my language, but it's true. There are some really messed up people out here that want a slave chained to their wall. I mean, some sick, twisted shit. I mean, is it possible? Yeah. This day and age, there was a time in my life that I would say, no, there is no possibility, right? There's no freaking possibility. But in this new world we live, everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. When it took me, remember the Savannah Soto case? The pregnant mom, the 19-year-old that was gunned down, and they found her in a car with her boyfriend over there in San Antonio, Texas. Well, that's when I first learned about the open market on social media. I was like fucking floored. I'm like, they're doing dope deals on social media? What? Yes! I didn't know that until I got a hold of his Telegram account. And then I found out that, I'm thinking, okay, it's Telegram. They do a lot of, the Telegram was designed to do, stuff. I mean, I used it for, scheduling protests back in 2019 and doing all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? When we were having all the political problems and whatnot. And so, I mean, it was like, I used Telegram for that, but I knew it could be used for more nefarious things. But Instagram, really? I'm finding out all this. So if you can do that on the open markets, just sling substances, and you're talking about some seriously, like, he had no shame either. He's like showing it in his hands, and I'm like, oh my God. If they can do that, God knows what else they're doing. Do you know Facebook is being sued right now? Did anybody tell you that? Facebook is being sued because they believe that they have been profiting off of drugs and other things being illicitly sold on their platform. So if that can happen, who's to say that they can't do something like trading? You know what I'm saying? Trading, us. It's a sick world out there, guys. It's a sick world out there. Nobody is safe. So, is there a possibility of that? Yeah, I don't want to disregard that. Yeah, I looked at that. I don't believe that would be the case. I don't believe there's some twists really twisted. But you know what? Nobody believed Dahmer existed until Dahmer existed, right? Nobody believed it. Nobody would have believed it. So, there's that. There is that. We don't know what happened. But I think it's premature for law enforcement to be so bold to say that they believe that no foul play exists, especially in light that they've searched that whole entire area, combed that whole entire area upside down and backside, and they still haven't found Riley. It just seems premature. I mean, if they had some evidence of him sliding into the water or something showing he was introduced to the water or something that says he was introduced somewhere, I would believe it. I mean, if he fell in, there's got to be some evidence of the fall, the slide, the scrape. There's nothing. Anyways, I digress. You guys have a good night. That's going to be the last. I'm not going to do a video on this. I just figured I'd let you know about the text messages with his new girlfriend or not. It didn't seem like it was the way it said. It was a new girl that he was seeing. So I don't want to call it his new girlfriend. It sounded like they were seeing each other. He was on this trip. She just happened to text him to check on him to see how the trip was going. And he had this strange response. And it happened to be the night that he disappeared, before he disappeared. So, there you have it, folks. I'll keep you up to date if something else breaks before now until the time I go to sleep, which is, I'm going to sleep now. But if for any reason I poke my eyes open and something's breaking, I will let you guys know. So, you guys have a great night. God bless, and we'll see you mañana.